Everyone, and welcome to the Learning Ladders. Today I'm doing a flip through of the Boomerang guide from Bravewriter. This is for the book The Hobbit, and for the age range for this they say 13 to 14. Okay, so they have a quick start guide on the side. It tells you obviously how to do the copywork and dictation, but also it tells you how to modify the boomerang for multiple ages and abilities, which I think is really useful, especially if you wanted to do this with younger children and older children together. And it also gives you some planning guide tips as well, which I think is really helpful. So in this particular version, they have their, I guess, scope and sequence. So we'll be looking at adjectives, commas, dialogue, similes, vivid description, semicolons, and irony, which sounds great to me. Okay, so it starts out, we'll look at a couple of the exercises throughout. So for week 1, we have a passage here from chapter 1. And then we've got discussion about the opening, which is always good because I think half the time the first part of the book is the hardest to write. So it explains obviously that it's one of the most famous opening lines in literature. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. And then later he drew the map, which I think is actually quite interesting. So a memorable first line entices the reader to read further, and obviously being the most memorable, is a very great line. So she goes on to explain how he describes the characteristics of a hobbit by giving them rich details about their home, a captivating kick-off to an enduring series. Excuse me if I'm talking funny, I had my wisdom tooth out. I'm still kind of sore. So we go on to spelling and vocabulary. We're also talking about colons and commas in this section, adjectives, and then the dash and similes. Okay, so they explain how to use and explore the passage. They explain you could use it for copywork, but dictation might be limited to the first paragraph since the second paragraph has such a lengthy sentence. They're talking about balance in writing, and they continue with talking about adjectives and then a try it section. So describe your bedroom by telling what it isn't. Using the first paragraph of The Hobbit as a model, think of 6 words that tell what your room is not, then 1 word that defines what it is. Okay, we're still on commas. We're talking about separate multiple adjectives, separate descriptive phrases, and independent clauses. So I definitely think this is more of the advanced level, so I can see why it's for 13 to 14. I think I bought a unit from them in the past, years ago, and it's definitely obviously up the game in terms of what they need to do, but I think, this is still fine for us, but it does look very, very in-depth of the language usage and the grammar in the passage, which I really like. So that's a good start for week 1 for me. Okay, moving on, week 2. So again, we've got our passage here from the book, and we're talking about dialogue. Sorry, my cat is molting like crazy. We're talking about dialogue. We are talking about, again, our spelling of vocabulary, italics, punctuating dialogue, things to note. So we're looking at semicolons, and we've got our listen and transcribe section, and we're also looking at poetic rhythm and rhyme. So they've got 2 try it sections. So they've got the try it section for writing their own dialogue, and then the try it section for creating a riddle. So that will be fun. And they're talking about show, don't tell, and repetition. I'm really liking it so far. This is great. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so we're talking about beyond the passage. We're looking at foreshadowing. And then also we've got an inside scoop. It gives us some background about what we're reading, which I think is really great. Particularly as here they're talking about rule breaking in writing and how sometimes, this passage ends with an incomplete sentence, but that's okay. We're writing, it's fiction. So I really do appreciate that. Okay, I've skipped past week 3. So week 4, we've got, we're discussing the ending. We have got our same spelling and vocabulary. We're talking about title, colloquialisms and plural possessive apostrophes. British and American spelling. That's interesting. Okay, semicolons, link-related independent clauses, so grammar stuff, irony. We've got our inside scoop. But I do appreciate those. So they're talking about debates in grammar, which is always interesting. Okay, we've got our beyond the passage. We've got some think piece questions, things to remember and try. which are all here. So some actual questions about the story that they read. And then golden liners, so they can select one favourite passage from the book to keep in a notebook of golden lines. I really like that. That's a good idea. So we've got the boomerang here. They can do a book club party idea, which sounds really fun. Dress in a grey cloak and wizard's hat with a staff. Yep, that sounds fun. Create the lonely mountain with piles of gold coins, foil rings, plastic gems, and chocolate coins. The unexpected party. So some meal ideas. And then there's lots of different activity ideas and things. Bring a riddle to the party. And then at the back we have all the copywork. So it is a 4-week unit. So you would obviously, they assume you're going to read it over that time, but I guess you could take longer if you need to. It is quite a, not that bad in terms of length, but it is on the longer side, I'd say. So you might want to take a bit longer than that. Obviously, it depends how fast you want to read it. We'll probably do it slightly longer over time. Just because we have other curriculum that we use and things, but I'm really excited to do this. So as I said, I haven't used much of Bravewriter products before. I think this is only the second time we've used Bravewriter, and I've never used any from this level. I definitely do see the increase in difficulty from the previous levels that I've looked at in the past. But yes, it looks like there's a mixture of grammar, writing, and obviously activities and questions to go along with the passage. I do like how they present things. I think their style is quite unique in terms of literary units. I do like the idea of keeping the Golden Lines book, where you can keep different examples of writing throughout the different units that you do, and then look back on it, scrapbook style, I guess, of great writing that you found. I really do like that idea. It's kind of what I'd loved to do with talent writing, where in my Wings of Fire Dragon Academy units, where she would copy certain things from the Dragon Academy books, because I really wanted to showcase what great writing looks like, so that she could refer back to it when she's writing her own things and stuff. So I do like the idea that they do something like that with the golden lines. I do like the book club party ideas. So obviously you could do this in a co-op setting or something like that, or with friends, or obviously you can do it by yourself as well. But yeah, I'm really excited for us to dig in. I have bought a second unit from them, which is also a Boomerang level, I believe, the Stuart Little. So I'm excited for us to look at that one and compare them. But so far, so good. I'll let you know once we've done it what we think, because as I said, I haven't used many of their units, only one time previously. So I think it'd be good to review and let you know what we thought about it. But yeah, that's a look inside Boomerang guide for The Hobbit from Bravewriter. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.